Welcome back. Will Robinson here from Robinson's Auto, toolsandtime.com. Today, getting ready to go in the shop, we have this 2011 Honda Pilot with a complaint of a rattle noise coming from the left front. How about we take it for a spin, we confirm the complaint, and then we take it from there. Follow along. All right, take a listen. All right, sure enough. It definitely does sound like it's coming from the left front, I'll have to agree. Any guesses? Not sure. Does this one use stabilizer links? Sway bar? Guess we'll find out when we get her up on the lift. There's definitely something down. We have our priorities. All right. Now that we're up on the lift, we're going to take and we're going to focus on the left front. A quick rattle like that, it's not a thump like you would get from a ball joint. Sometimes you'll get a rattle out of that. Sometimes you'll get a rattle out of a tie rod, inner and outer. However, I would say, in my experience, 90% of the time, that quick rattle is a link. You just take and you tap on it like that. That's essentially the noise you're getting. I just do like a lot of times I get out a mallet. I could demonstrate with that as well. This one ain't too bad, but she's getting there. Let's see what we got here. Usually tap around everything. Sometimes I'll just tap around everything. Anything that could be loose, anything that could be part of the service. You can hear that tinny sound. But I could hear it more with just using these two fingers. I'm just feeling it. Alright guys, so I think it's pretty evident. Well, in order to remove these lug nuts, I'm going to need the special socket. This tire uses a 7/8 socket and the special key socket. Okay, since we're replacing both sides, we can start on either side. This one has the OE style, but the same's gonna apply to either side. Sometimes aftermarket ones or sometimes OE ones on different models won't have this center Allen, so you'll have to hold the backside with a wrench. You'll see it's to keep the knuckle from spinning inside the link, especially when they're wore out. They're gonna just sit there and spin. 6mm socket that we're gonna place in there. However, before I start doing that, I'm gonna give it a little toot of penetrating oil, and we're gonna do the same thing on the bottom. The same thing with the opposing side and let that soak in a little bit. Then we're going to give it a couple of uggas with the 17mm and impact socket. See how it's just spinning? Sit there all day and it's not going to come off. Alright, so at this point, you just take your 17mm wrench, hold your nut. Sometimes to give you more clearance, I could just turn the wrench. And then with the 6mm socket, if you picture this, when you turn that stud, you're gonna have to go in and you're gonna have to go right. So righty-tighty usually. But in this case, when I turn this right, it's gonna be like turning the wrench left, lefty-loosey. So it's kind of backwards, but you just gotta picture it as if you're moving the threads inside the nut. And then you can just run it all the way out like so. I'm just going to use my impact to make life easier. And just like that. Very good. We're going to repeat the same process on the bottom knuckle. See what we can do with the wrench. Little tight. Alright, sometimes when things are really tight, just get out a breaker bar or a bigger socket, bigger ratchet. Use leverage to your advantage. See, it's just spinning. So this is not going to be fun. This, you want to make sure the Allen socket is in as deep as you can get it. So it was a little rusty, so I had to give her a little help. Now if you picture this, I'm going to be pulling down. So you're going to want to keep this one spinning. So like I said, you're going to be pushing in the up direction. So this is going to hopefully keep our stud from spinning. Now I'll take another wrench, a bigger wrench, and kind of act like a cheater bar. Put her out here like so. Oh, that's what you don't want to happen. Keep things from going crooked, because once you strip it, you're done. And this is your saving grace. Whew. So what can I do in this case to prevent from rounding that Allen socket out? I can take this, I can move it out of our way a little bit. And since we're replacing this, I can get myself a pair of vice grips. I don't want to destroy my tools. I don't want to destroy my Allen socket. And it is going to be the weakest part of this link. And right now I think we're just fighting with breaking it loose. So if we can get past that part, we'll have it made. So I'm going to take a pair of vice grips. I'm going to try my best to hold that inner flange. It's got like a step collar on it that tightens up against the bar. And we're going to hold it like so. Then I'm going to come from this back side with an impact gun and a swivel 17. Make sure we're on it all the way. And just like that. Hopefully yours does not fight you like that, but as you can see, sometimes you gotta think outside the box and it doesn't always go as planned. Okay, now I'm on the bottom side of the left front. This is the one that's our problem child that's making all the noise. And this one does not have an OEM link on it. So it is aftermarket, and this one doesn't have the spot for an Allen socket, but it does have a spot on the back side. Can't really turn this one. It has a spot that you can put a wrench on it. I'll show you once I get it off, but it's a 3/4 wrench. And you can just get it on there like so. I'm going to try to just go for the gusto with the impact gun, just to get it out of the way. At this point, we're going to put the 3/4 wrench in there. That wasn't too bad. Now if I would have did the top first, but the vehicle was up in the air, I would have been able to turn the bar up for us and give us a little bit more room. But that worked easy enough. I'll move on to the top. Alright, so as you can see here, we got some aftermarket links. I just want to match them up with the old ones. Some key differences I'm seeing is that the right front had the OE style, original equipment style link, which used the Allen key. You can use an Allen wrench or something to hold this from spinning. I've had them already where I had to cut them with a torch, but if I could hold it, zip it out, it's just as quick. The driver's side had an aftermarket one on it, as you can see, and it did not have a spot for the Allen wrench. It does have like a center guide hole or something, maybe from when they cut the threads, but what it does have is 2 flats, actually 4 flats. The new ones are going to be very similar. However, it has a smaller wrench. We're gonna have to use a smaller wrench. So 17 millimeter and a 17 millimeter socket for the nuts. So that makes it nice and standard. All right, back here on the left front, as you see with everything removed, it's a good time to check everything else. The bushings are in good shape on this. But with the links disconnected, you can take and move the bar up and down freely. You can feel for any play and whatnot. And this might be a good time, especially if space is limited, for tightening up the backside. This might be a good time for you to just install the bottom. Make sure you're on the right side of the ABS wire or anything else that might be in your way. You can actually start the bottom and tighten each side up at this point, because it gives you a little bit more room to work, especially if you're doing everything by hand. Just like so. And we can do the final tighten once it's in place. I'm going to lower this down into place. We're going to install the top, install our nut, hold the back side again, 17 millimeter. Okay, at this point you can take and torque everything to spec. Click, 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 click. Repeat the same process on the opposing side. Tighten and torque the tires to spec. Hey guys, we just finished up. Take it for a quick spin. Confirm the repair. All right, listen close to the road, front end. Okay, much better. I'm hearing some road activity, but nothing like that rattle we were hearing before. These side roads around here are pretty rough, so a little toot around the town will pretty much confirm our fix. We don't have to go very far. All right guys, well that's going to close this one out. I hope you enjoyed. Pretty straightforward task. Until next time, stay tuned.